So welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit chaotic because we're going to cover like a lot of different topics because I kind of want to do like, yarn room tour and show you guys like what I've been like up to since there's been kind of a brief absence on my channel, and then show you guys also what I've got that's like new for market prep. Hopefully there's going to be some useful like information in there for you guys also in relation to me just like updating you about what I'm up to on my end of the little crochet community. My name is Jackie Chaplin. I'm the owner of a crochet business. I have babies too. I sell on Etsy and in person at markets. That's one of my businesses. And then as another one, I'm a freelance writer, but this channel is like crochet focused. My business used to be called Cotton Baby Crochet. However, I am rebranding and my business is now called Works of Whimsy. And I did that because if you're looking to start a crochet business, you're likely to have like watched videos on how to do that. And they all start with like, pick your product, pick what you're going to make, pick your business name, and like who your customers are going to be, all that stuff that goes into like your brand. I naturally followed that advice and picked my business name and picked my product. My business like evolved almost instantly, and I haven't really done anything for the business that I would like originally intended to, because I thought I was going to be making like baby clothes, baby toys, and like some decor out of cotton yarn. That's kind of how the name Cotton Baby Crochet came to be. Judah, my goodness. But we needed to rebrand because I sell plushies online primarily to adults only, because those are the people with like Etsy's. And they're just looking for like a whimsical gift for themselves, or a couple of them have been like adult people who want to buy a plushie for themselves for their birthday or for like a special occasion. So that's kind of where like the name Works of Whimsy came from. And I do kind of sell primarily to kids at markets, but that's only like a portion of my demographic when you take in like my whole business, because my Etsy channel is mainly made up of female viewers ages like 30 to 50. So I just needed to like age up my business, I think, a little bit and like make it more representative of like me. There's a certain amount of censoring that goes into like being on YouTube, because I have like the mouth of a trucker, but you can't do that on YouTube. So I like censor that down. And then my business I thought was going to be geared toward babies and kids. So like I tried to, make something fun and bright and colorful when I'm more like, my yellow is about the most color I do, but I like really earth tones and like subtle. And this doesn't look like it, but I like minimal. So we're just going to be going with that from now on. But yes, I wanted to go show you guys like everything that's been changing in addition to changing my name and like the image of my business. Yes. So now I'm going to do like this whole handheld talking thing. So the first thing that changed was like my setup. Over in that corner right there, facing toward the wall that's now behind me. But I rearranged my living room to try to make more space. So it's like hard because we have this baby's thing in here, and like he needs it because like my kids, you could see there's like keys on the floor and like toys and whatever that happens to be over there on the floor. They're just a mess, and it was making him like in unsafe situations. So I just needed to like contain him. So yeah, that's my solution to get done like working during the day, is like he can be in there and be like safer than if he was like out here. So I put my desk here, and in my desk I keep all my patterns that are printed here, and then the bottom stuff is more stuff for my business. I have a binder with like tax information in it and everything. And yeah, so that's my workspace. I only rearranged the top of this, and I know this looks jank, but this is like a yarn spinny thing and it clips to my desk. I was like doing something up here, so I needed to move it, but the paper towel helps stuff not get stuck in the groove between like the base and like this part of the base, if that makes sense. And now I have like a little box of stuffing right here that I refill out of my big box over there. Like it's a little bit of a jank setup, okay? Not all of us have like thousands of dollars to like redo our yarn room, and we have kids. We can't even have a yarn room because I can't like be separate from them. So yeah. That's that. I've had that desk forever, so I can't really send you guys like a link to that, but I can link this cart. I find it super useful. This first thing is like all my glue, like hot glue, fabric glue. I got some wood glue in here, And then this is all like stitch markers and embroidery, sewing stuff. My neck light's in there, so it's like easily accessible. So I like need that cart next to me when I crochet because I found myself using like hot glue a lot now. I like to hot glue my felt eyes. And if you do spots on like a cow, you can actually make the spot and like glue it on, and it doesn't leave it too like crusty. And then it saves you sewing time. So I've been kind of doing that. Then I made this yarn wall. This is like all of my yarn now. It starts with blanket yarn, which is kind of in, what's it called? Rainbow order. And then I have mostly worsted weight yarn here. And then my Parfait Chunky yarn. And then I have some Sweet Snuggles. And then there's more worsted weight. And then this starts my like cotton yarn. I've got a lot of colors here. And then some of this in here is cotton yarn. And then it's just kind of miscellaneous. So I like this style of shelf. I know like the wood ones look nicer, but you can like literally add to this and change this shape. So I could like run it up the wall around this if we don't ever get to the point where we take this down. But yeah, it's nice. And I think this stands up because it's holding a lot of weight. I think the metal version stands up better than the like plastic looking ones. Like Katie Being Creative has like the plastic variety, but it's basically the same. For just the yarn, I'm sure it'd be fine, like hers is, but I've got a lot of stuff up here. So this is my Annie's crochet kit. This is some novelty yarn. I've got the Juicy Couture yarn, and this is Glow in the Dark Plush yarn. These are the amigurumi books that I have here. You know, staple stuff. This is like keychain stuff, some scrunchie stuff, the tools to do the keychains. This is what I have going on for eye storage. So I haven't finished, obviously, but you can see like I've got the eyes by sizes, and there's some like colored ones like mixed in. But I have more eyes, so I needed to get a second shelf. But this was a little tedious to do, but it's nice because when I'm working on like making multiples of something, I could just like take this over to my desk and sit with this and just pull out of it. This is the eyes that are supposed to be in here, and now I've got a bunch of felt eyes. Oh yeah, Pink Tomato Crochet. This is the Etsy seller that I like talked about in one of my videos, which I'll link. But I was saying that her customer service like left a little bit to be desired, but like her eyes are really nice. Like look at this. So I just actually ordered more, even though I haven't used it. A lot of this stuff is for like staging purposes. So I have these fry boxes for doing chicken nuggets. I have some floral wire. This is how I did wings on the like flying wolf thing that I did. I've got buttons here and some elastics and some twine because sometimes I like tie a little like handmade label to my stuff. So that's what that is. Glitter, because at one point I did a reference to Edward in Twilight and him glittering. So this is a random bin. I actually keep some of the jewelry my friend who's a jewelry seller makes that I've ordered because I like to support her business. Here, I'll get something out. So excuse the bad shot. I like to support her business, but I also don't wear a lot of jewelry. So I buy it because I like it. But I'll probably wear this like once a year. But it's like good quality stuff. Like, isn't that pretty? That's like handmade. The watch is really nice too. Here, I'll put you down for a second and then I'll get the watch. Okay, boom. Tell me this is not spectacular. I like it. And I just got like a hot pink dress. So when I don't wear that dress, I will not wear these also. I needed the dress because it was pretty and pink, but I like wear dresses. Well, I kind of wear dresses a lot, but I probably won't wear it that much. This is my shipping stuff. I have some like vintage style washi tape in here, lint rollers because I like to lint roll my like items after I finish them. I've got some tissue paper here and here, tape obviously. So yeah, that's shipping stuff. This is my travel bag. Nothing's really in it right now. I got these on sale because I want to do like towel toppers for them. And I thought sunflowers were like fall, but also would work in like summer too. So yeah. And then this is a bin of vitamins. Not really crochet related, but also vitamins. So yes. Here, let me back up. That's the yarn wall. It's a little bit messy, but like I got dogs that'll sometimes run and like pull some yarn down, and like kids do kind of touch it too. So like this is the best we could do. And now it's closer to me because I was in this room and it was in this room. But it was like a pain kind of to like go get it. And then I couldn't all fit in one spot in that room. I didn't have like the big yarn wall. So I was always like in and out of cabinets looking for colors, forgetting I had certain colors, and yeah. So I like the yarn wall. This is where I keep my polyfill, obnoxiously like in the middle between my kitchen and my living room. This is cluster fill. It's super soft polyfill. Then I've got some bubble wrap there. And this like plastic mesh I've used in the bottom of projects that need to like stand up. Like I put it in the bottom of my Titanic, and there's some in my gnome over here. This shelf needs organized more, but I like ran out of steam the day I did my big rearrange. So yeah, I got my like Addy machines up there. That has paperwork for my Addy machines. That's my yarn ball winder. There's like a doll behind it that I've used in like staging my products. And that's just my son's heartbeat bear. I think we put it up there because my like middle child, the 3-year-old, wouldn't like leave it alone. So yeah, yarn samples are in these bins, so you can like refer to it so you know the color of like your yarn. This has like recording stuff in it. This is like all my knitting needles. And the one next to it is crochet hooks. I don't really knit. I can do like super basic tiny swatches, but I was like learning how to knit, so my mom bought me knitting stuff. This is product for my island market. It's obviously all my scrunchies. This is crinkle paper for my orders. This is where my yarn winder is supposed to be. These I got for making hats, but I haven't made any hats yet because I'm a loser. This is keychains or stuff I'm going to have Zach like help me turn into keychains. So I'm going to put a couple of those like floofies that I haven't used for hats on keychains. This is some macrame stuff because I want to like get into that. So my mom got me a kit. And this is kind of miscellaneous stuff that needs organized. I got my label maker. I've got some like baby rattles that I started that I haven't finished. There's some ribbon down there. Oh, those are my like little padded envelopes for shipping like keychains, and some extra binders and clipboards and an extension cord. And I think I have half a doll in there that I've made. And yeah, it's a little bit of a mess. These are hooks for my grid walls. I like those. I'll show you how I use those. That's my fan for my market. There's like a hook in the bottom so you could hang it from your like actual tent. This is the cabinet that my stuff was in. We're in the process of like redoing rooms. So everything looks like kind of like we're hoarders, and I guess we kind of are depending on like the stuff, but yeah, it's a mess. And this is like my mock setup that I've been working off of as I like fill in everything for like ever now, it seems. And I think I'm at my like final version. With the only other thing going to be like a table that has some like not this stuff on it, obviously. What's the matter, buddy? We'll go through like that video of like everything I crocheted and my prices because I'm adjusting the pricing on some of this stuff. And I still have to make signage and everything, but we'll kind of give a quick rundown of like what I have and like why it's where it's at. So I've got 2 whales and a mermaid, and then like axolotls and cactus. And I know those things like kind of don't really all go together, but I had like nowhere to put it. So that's kind of like why it ended up there. And I wanted to ask, what are your guys' feelings about like mouths on your like crochet? Because I do think that axolotl is cute with a mouth, but like, is it worth it, do you think, to go back and add mouths to like the axolotl and the leggy frogs and like the mermaid? What do you think? Thoughts? Let me know. I've got an astronaut and some aliens. I've got some plush bees. These plush bees are like my bee pattern. I've got a tutorial for it. I can link it below. Then I kind of have a bird section with like a pig. So yeah, that's this section. Then I have a dinosaur section. I know these will all be $15. And then these 3, these 3 across the front will be 20. And then these across the back will either be 25 or 30. I haven't decided yet. Then I've got my octos down here. 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. And then those octos over there being 15. I think it's how I'm going to do that. So I think these are also going to be 11, but I also thought about making them 9. Because I can do them faster now. But this pattern, for whatever reason, the little baby shark pattern used to like mess me up. and it took longer than it would look like it takes to make something like that. Then this is like my Halloween fall section. I'm not actually selling this guy. I think I'm going to turn that into a game, like whoever picks it up. I think because it's supposed to be Freddy Krueger, which is trademarked, and I like made it thinking, wow, that's going to be cool to sell, and then realized that like I probably shouldn't sell that because technically it's illegal. I don't think they'll like come for me, but I can't be preaching to you guys to like follow the law and then not follow it myself. So what I think I'm going to do, because everything else is going to be individually priced, I'm not going to have a price tag on him, and if someone has like the social anxiety balls to like ask about the price, I'll be like, it's free, congratulations, you win it, because I can't technically sell it, which will probably make for an awkward exchange, but you know, it means he goes to somebody who like appreciates him, which is all I'm really looking for. So yes, this is my like fall Halloweeny stuff. Then these are my mystery bags. That's a 10, a 20, and a $25 bag. I need to like make labels for them, so I will do that, but I think it should go like in the middle. And then these are all like my bigger pieces that are like going to be kind of expensive. I mean, she's not going to be expensive because she's pretty easy, but I needed somewhere to like put it, and it didn't fit with like other stuff. So that's that, and I think it looks pretty good. I think this is a nice like middle section, even though the other ones are therefore like kind of cluttered. I got like baby toys I'm tripping on. Have kids, they said. It'll be fun, they said. And yeah, so do you think I should put mouths on the like baby leggy frogs and the big leggy frogs? I feel like the ones that have it are cute, but I don't know. I always go back and forth. Like, is this a time suck or like a good way to spend my time? But this is kind of more miscellaneous stuff, but it's sort of grouped together. So this is my mushroom section. Those are the pot mushrooms. These are the chunky boy mushrooms. And then these are my mushroom pattern, which I'll link. I did a tutorial for it, but you could also pay to have like a paper copy of the pattern on my Etsy. And then I made this little acorn, which is a pop acorn. These are like cable and canvas. So is this, if you're not familiar with that Etsy shop. I really like it for patterns. Oh, don't mind the screws. We use those in our slider to like make it to where the kids can't open it because they like to open it, but we didn't have a place to put the screws. We kept losing them. So my like plushies became pin cushions. But yeah, so that's my like cottagecore section. And then we have like an aquatic section that comes down around here. So we've got the frogs. You guys are familiar. We've got some sea turtles. This is all from Jade, so I modified the petals. This is Crochet by Gemma. This is all from Jade. This is Tessa. I don't remember this one's name. I used it in a collaboration video, which I can link, but yeah. I don't remember the pattern maker for the squids, but those are cool. This is modified, Crochet by Jenna Octo. This is freehand. This is kind of freehand, and this was like a YouTube tutorial. It's a freaking pumpkin. I like it. 10 out of 10, right? I agree. I got an axolotl that's like a laying down version. I've not done a laying down version, so we'll see how he sells. Then Janessa made this like snow seal thing. So we're gonna like have that with my other sea creatures. Then we have some cows and some possums and some hippos and my little Harry Potter Harry Otter. That's what it is. Harry Otter. I don't believe trademark applies here because this is my version of spoof art because it's not Harry Potter, it's Harry Otter. Then we have this frog, and this is a bigger pot mushroom. Then we have my like little sad food section, and I know it's like hard to see, which I'm kind of concerned about for the event, but I also don't know what else to do with it because I don't want to have like a whole table just for like this section. So hopefully I get some like wee little kids. But we've got some fruit here. We've got milk and cookies, what I'm calling ice cream, a gummy bear, a carrot, and my dumpling. And I think I'm going to price the dumpling to go with the dumpling pot. And yeah, so that's all my products here. And now we'll talk about these grid shelves. Let's talk about these grid walls for a second. Very expensive. I don't know if there's like a cheaper place to get them, but I paid like somewhere in the ballpark of $170 just for the wall, not the baskets. Then I got these baskets. I think these came in either sets of 3 or 6, and I got multiple of them to have the little baskets. This came in a pack with a couple, And then I have the long ones that came in a pack with couple. So I got like several different packs that added to the like $170 price for the walls. I will say that I'm pleased with the purchase. And other than the like awkwardness of like this section here, I think this is a nice way to get some vertical height, but also keep my stuff low for the kids. Because like for the most part, I put stuff adults would appreciate more up top. I get a lot of adults asking for like turtles and like stuff like that. And then like adults would obviously appreciate that stuff and would be more likely to buy that kind of stuff if they wanted it rather than like kids. So I put like my cheaper stuff on the bottom so the kids can like see it. So I do like it in that regard. So I do think it was worth it, kind of the money I spent. Like I would much rather it have been cheaper. And I think for the 3 walls, the 170 is a little bit outrageous. But overall, I am happy with my purchase. I don't think it was like a total waste of money. But don't think you need this to like do a market, because I did several markets before I bought this, just stuff on tables and in plastic bins. You can get like plastic baskets at the dollar store, like 4, 10 packs, depending on the size of the basket, for like $1.25. I am pleased with my purchase of the grid walls. I definitely am. I think it's like a nice way to display my products. I think it'll kind of save space in the car because like the tables don't necessarily take up a lot of room, but I bought a lot of displays that didn't really break down that take up a lot of room. So I think I'll be able to eliminate 2 tables and the displays from 2 tables for these grid walls. My one concern is these legs, like they're screwed on. So we either have to reassemble every time or figure out how to put them in the car with the legs on. So that's not going to work for like everybody's situation. But I have seen like tabletop grid walls. So if you do want some grid walls, but you can't transport them, maybe look up at like a tabletop option so you can set them on your table and do your displays that way. But I'll try to find something to link. But just know I have not used the tabletop grid walls. I'll link this stuff though. I'll like literally go into my orders and find these like exact products so you guys like can have them too if you want them. But the big gist of what I was saying is it was very expensive, and don't feel like you need this to do well at events. One, I don't actually know if this is going to improve or like decrease sales because I have not done an event with them yet. I did plenty of events without having them, with just stuff on tables and in baskets. And for like $1.25 at the dollar store, like these all came from Dollar Tree. That came from Dollar Tree. That wire basket came from Dollar Tree. So I used all that stuff before like investing in this. I've made a good amount of money in my crochet business that it makes it justifiable to spend this. I knew grid walls were a thing when I was getting started, but I didn't buy them right away because they were so expensive. So just like don't see this and think that like you're not ready to do a market until you have this, because like I waited to have this and I'm at a place financially where it's justifiable to do this. But this is definitely not the only way to do markets. I like get hesitant about like recommending expensive things because like I don't want you guys to be like put off and think that you can't do it until you have like all this money saved up to start your business. When I first started, because plush yarn's expensive, I made a lot of things in like worsted weight yarn, held double, because a skein of worsted weight yarn goes for freaking ever, and a skein of like plush yarn has like 100 yards in it. It's like stupid. Like why? Where's the rest of my yards? So I grew into this is my whole point. I just don't want you guys to be like put off, because I think there's still plenty of space in our community for other like designers and like creators. So if you want to start, you can definitely start with what you have. Now, talking about growing market stuff, this is like the rest of my market stuff. My plushies and some of the like little risers usually go in those 2 bins. There are my headbands. I'm going to see how they do at this first and maybe second fall market before I decide if I'm going to make more, because I live in Florida. So while ear warmer style like headbands are useful occasionally here, they're not going to be as big of a like product if you like compared to somebody who lives in like Wisconsin, where it's you get like a real winter, you know? So I just don't know if it's worth it for me to keep stocking them. But I will, even if I like eliminate them, do a tutorial at some point. It's pretty simple. And if you guys don't want to wait on me, that's totally fine. There are other tutorials on YouTube. That's how I learn. So I'm not offended if you go there first because I've been promising you guys a tutorial for that for like 100 years. Anyway, spiel over. I got my chairs. I don't do like normal lawn chairs, like camping chairs. I have like studio, like director style chairs, I think they're called, that are like the same material as camping chairs, but I sit up way higher and I like it better because it helps me be eye to eye with the customer. That's something we did not cover in the live is chairs. Definitely bring chairs. You might not sit in them, but it's nice to have them. And mine have tables on either side of like the arm, so I can have my crochet stuff like on the table and like my order forms and even my cash box, and like not be using a table just for my own stuff, like an actual like product table just for my own stuff. That's one of the displays that doesn't break down. More bins. Though these bins I get off of Amazon, but I love these bins. I've bought like so many packs of them. They're like all over my house, in my bathroom, in my pantry, all the things. These are my bags. We also didn't talk about bags. You should have bags for your items. Though I will say, I don't think my big guys are really going to fit appropriately. It's just really those 3 big things in that size bag, and that's my biggest bag. But just like this size, it wasn't very expensive, and I've still got like a ton left. It's a purchase I've made, like those are the only bags I've ever bought for my business so far. So it's really not expensive. And if you want to be fancy, you could also have like a stamp made for your bags or like a sticker so you can put your branding on them to make them fancier. I intended to do that, but also after making all the stuff and staging and like pricing and everything, to just go back and like brand my bags too, like really was a nightmare. So I haven't got there yet. But I would like to. That's like ultimate goals. I'm just lazy. But yes, you need to bag your things. Not every customer will want one, so I usually just offer because I don't want to be using them up for no reason. But like you could be that guy that comes in clutch when like somebody is holding like 3-4 things from another shop and they weren't prepared like you were. So, you know, you can offer them a bag and be like the person that saves the day. I mean, it's really not that serious, but it just looks more polished when you can bag the customer's stuff. That is the wood rattles I make. And then there's some like silicone teethers in there too. I think I'm going to bring that and display that also. Though I do really want to focus more on the crochet. I also have candles from like when I made candles back in the day that I'm going to bring because I'm trying to like get rid of that stock. But I'm not going to make any more of that stuff is my point. I'm really just going to focus on like the whole crochet thing. That's my tent that my kid's standing on. My tables, that little wad right there is my tablecloths. You should have tablecloths for your tables. Mine are the kind that like hook under the legs that are like stretchy. I like those because it like helps conceal things under the table. So if you're doing a different style of tablecloth, that's my recommendation, is to get tablecloths that go all the way to the floor. So you can like hide stuff under your table. Because when I like empty these bins, I can stash them without having to run back to my car or like leave them in a hoard. We're no stranger to a hoard. I want to get the shed cleaned out so we could like store a little more of this stuff better, so I don't like actually look like an episode of Hoarders, but like here we are for now. Oh, pro tip, if you ship things, you can get free boxes from the post office. There's some of my free post office boxes. I also pay for priority mail shipping when I do ship, so it's fast. It's like 2 to 4 days depending on where in the United States you're shipping. So it is a little more, but it's tracked, and I get the boxes for free, so that helps balance cost. And you can get different sizes. Those are large, so most of my custom orders come out like the size of the duck floaty situation guy. So I need the large box. It just travels better. That is a wagon. That's if you're far away from your site, because some places will have you park, and then you have to walk to your like booth area to set up. So if we have to walk, the wagon helps us put a little more things, you know, than we could carry on our arms in it for transport. This I just wanted to show you because I want you to be prepared for the amount of stuff that it actually kind of takes to do a market. Like you don't have to go this extreme, but you'll probably have like tables, a couple of displays, and like a bin for your products. So like start preparing, oh, and chairs. So start preparing now with where you're going to put all that stuff if you haven't done a market. And also just get on board with the idea now that your market stuff is likely going to grow, because I obviously didn't have this much stuff when I started out. And now I have like a whole quarter of a room hoarded out with market stuff. And that's not even including like this display stuff, or, you know, this stuff to like do my business and make my products. So yes, I just wanted to like, you know, have some real moments with you, so to speak. The whole gist of this video was just to kind of show you that I've been like working on this. I did a short semi recently with the same setup, but it was like half empty. So like I've filled it and I've been rearranging because I took like everything out of here because it went like all the way down and like reorganized it in that room. I didn't get all the way around here, but my like living room setup's mostly done. So yeah, so that's just kind of where I've been with some like market prep advice sprinkled in. Yeah, where I've been with some like market prep information sprinkled in, because the focus gets put on making the product, which is obviously important because without a product, you're not even a business. But there's just so much beyond that that doesn't get discussed enough. So when you're done making your product and you got all your stuff, and then you hit that like, what do I do now moment, I want to like help fill in the what do I do now stuff. So what I'm doing now is going back and individually pricing, because that's something you really should do because people are socially awkward and don't want to ask. So you either need to make like the front of this say these are like $10 or $12 or however much they are, or individually price them. And it doesn't hurt, if you're me, to do both. I'll make little tags, I think, and individually price them. So if something gets put back wrong, you know, it's self-explanatory. And that there's like over 100 plushies here. It's going to take a significant amount of time. Then I'm going to make sure all this stuff is added into my Square app. You don't have to when you're first starting out, but you should eventually get to the point where you're able to take credit card payments of some sort, because like most people nowadays don't carry cash. So you'll limit your sales if you can only take cash sales. So I don't want you guys to worry about it like immediately starting like, oh, now I got to go drop $50 on this. I can't even do one show. Like do one show. Sure, you might lose some customers, but you'll probably come out of it $100. That's 50 more for your business, and like 50 to like buy your Square reader, you know, or only buy the Square reader and like pocket the rest if you still have like materials enough to like do you a second market. So yes, I have a credit card reader. So I now have to like put all these into it one by one by one by one. So that's going to take a significant amount of time. And then I actually need to do a trial setup because I got new display stuff. And if you're new to markets, you've got new display stuff too. So it's good to go in it ahead of time with like the setup you kind of want to do. And then it's also, and I didn't touch on this in my video either, always do your trial setups, especially if you get new market stuff. But you should be doing trial setups, one for your like ideal setup, but also like picture the flow of traffic, what it could be. Like have a setup if you're like on a corner of an aisle, so there's people coming from this way and this way. Like what do you want to like have front and center for both people? You know, that kind of vibe. I like to do a U shape, which works if the flow of traffic is like left to right or right to left, because like I always keep my important stuff in the middle, but I have like bigger displays on like either end normally, so like they can see a big display from like whatever direction they're coming in. But then like my real showstopper stuff is like in the middle, so like, you know, they kind of hit it at the same time, if that makes sense. So like have that kind of stuff in mind. But if someone's coming like straight on, like they obviously can't see the stuff on like my U walls because it's in a U shape and it doesn't like face that way. So that's just something you need to be like aware of for your display. Most of the time I find craft fairs are set up in like aisles. So it's a pretty safe bet that a U shape will kind of work, because there'll be something to see as the people are walking by. They don't have to get directly in front of my booth and then turn in to see what I have, if that makes sense. But yeah, if it wouldn't work if I was just like in an open area on one strip and people were coming like toward me. It wouldn't work as well, I would say. I'm losing 2/3 of like my viewing area, so to speak. So that's what you should be like thinking about when you do your trial setups. Like if the traffic's coming from this way, does it work? If the traffic's coming from this way, does it work? What can I shift quickly to adjust if I get there and I realize that like my situation isn't what I thought it was? Yeah, so we didn't touch on that in my live, which we should have. And I was going to do a part 2 to the live, but this is kind of going to fulfill the part 2 to the live situation. But I just wanted to show you guys all of what I've been doing, because I've still been here doing the crochet thing. It just, you guys know how it is to crochet. You kind of get on a roll and it is a little bit disruptive to like stop to like do updates. That's why I didn't like film any of the like actual like moving, like there's not like a makeover video, because it's just easier to do it and then be like, look guys, what I did. You like it? But yeah, it's easier to do the thing and then update you. It just kind of also results in like a little bit of gaps in my content. And I was like inundated with orders for a second. I'm like finally catching up. Yeah, I just wanted to like update you guys about where I've been and what I've been doing. And I know I'm getting content to you guys kind of late because like the market season for other people has pretty much started. And I get asked like how I do all the things. It's a lot of bouncing around, like getting like halfway through an order and then going to work on a writing job for like 20, 30 minutes. And then getting off the writing job and going to like post something on like social media. And then doing that and then like going to put up a listing on my Etsy or like work on editing my patterns. Like I just am constantly bouncing from task to task and it'll like all be cut basically by the time you watch this. But I've had to stop this video 3 times to deal with like my kids fighting or like one of them was crying. You know, you just gotta, I write a lot of things down to help remember what I was doing and what I need to do. And that's my biggest advice if you're going to be like a mom person or like have a full-time job and like an animal that you need to be responsible for, like how to do it all. You just need to do little bits. Like you're not going to be able to in one night crochet like a whole thing, write up a pattern for it and get it posted on like Etsy and advertise it. You need to like break that down into smaller parts and you need to like write down what you've done and what you need to do. This is at least how I do it. And if you have like ADHD brain like I do, like this is like the best way in my opinion. But yeah, you need to break it down into small parts, write it down and like keep track. And if you're like not organized, you gotta still figure out a system that's gonna like help. Like I'm not super organized. This is like a list of the stuff I need to link for a video, but then like right before it is like info about my new logo and my like brand colors. But oh, right before that is like how to work with sourdough starter. So it's not organized, but like all the life stuff. Oh, that's gonna be loud on the microphone. But all my life stuff is like written down, so I know what I'm doing from second to second, hour to hour, day to day. Yeah, not a great system. And it would be nice to be able to sit down and like do a task start to finish. Like that's the only thing I'm jealous about, that people who like go off to work, like, wow, what luxury to go to a job and then all you have to do at your job is just your job. And then you get to leave your job and come home and then you can start like your at home stuff. Like that separation, like I'm a little bit jealous of that these days because it is a little bit of chaos. But I'm also not complaining because I am very lucky and fortunate to be like in my position. But if you want to be in my position too, just know that it's not as easy when you have kids as like the teenagers who have just like graduated high school and don't have like a lot going on. It's not going to be as smooth as it looks like it is for them. Like you're not going to be able to get up one day and just start making you sunflower turtles to get up on your Etsy to sell and then like you're making 5 figures a month. The toddler is yelling at the baby about breaking the door. He didn't even do nothing. I just want to real life it and let you know that as smooth as it seems and as like easy as it seems, watching it on Instagram or TikTok or like edited down on Facebook, like I went to my market, I got coffee on the way, I set it up, I made $1,000, I packed it up, I went home, here's the video. There's like a lot of BS between that just, I don't know, at least for me, that's the only experience I have to speak to, but at least for me, it's a lot of a mess, a lot of balls juggling. So, yep, this video is also for my own benefit because it's helped me organize my thoughts about what I got to do next. And it also got some content. And I'll probably not even, I should probably have this edited. I was going to say I probably won't even like have I got a new person that's going to like start editing for me. She has a YouTube channel too. I'll link it below. She has 2 actually. But her name is Marty and she's like one of my subscribers and that's like how I met her basically is through my channel. But like she's helping to help me out and working on like editing and we're trying to like fine tune that. But it's really nice to be able to like unload that task. Editing takes so long. Like the video might take like 20 minutes to film, but the editing can take 2 to 3 hours easy for just like basic stuff. But it's just a little bit of chaos. But I'm trying to like show you that part and like also kind of give advice on how to like get past that part because if you push through that part, like having a crochet business, pretty lit, and I like what I do. And yeah, if you want to do what I do too, and you need some like crochet inspiration, I'll link some like market makes patterns right here that are no sew, so they're good for beginners and they work up quick. And you can, that's the easy part. You guys can get through the easy part of making things and then come back and revisit this chaos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.